You're listening to the Roar the Score podcast with Oisin Coyne.
Hello and welcome into the Roar the Score podcast. It's Oisin Coyne here with you, and I'm delighted to be saying we're bringing this series to you, and we're talking about everything about foot golf in Ireland. And I'm joined here with the Rookie Foot Golfer of the Year for 2023, Sean Scully. Sean, pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Pleasure to be here, Oisin. Thank you very much.
Well, it's a great spot we're here in right now. We're at the Highfield Foot Golf Course in Edenderry. It's a beautiful sunny day. You can hear the birds chirping in the background, and the place is kind of really lively, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's lovely to see fresh cut grass as well. Nothing beats it, so it doesn't, Oisin.
So, Sean, Rookie Foot Golfer of the Year, but you're quite new to the sport, aren't you?
Yeah, I joined, I'd say, last year, and I only got into it because I was out playing with my friend, and sure, it's only 20 minutes away from me, and I never even knew like there was a course. My friend just happened to say it to me, so went down and we were playing just as you would, and these lads behind us were just looking at us the whole time. We were like, what? And then coming towards the end of our round, he goes to us, oh, here, do you want to play for a bit of money? We've been watching you, we think it'd be a good match. And we're like, me and my friend who've been playing football all our lives, we're like, oh, we're going to absolutely smash these. So we came out anyway, and we didn't know that one of them actually was playing for Ireland at the time, because we didn't know anything about it. But we were going down playing, and I think we were losing by about 3 shots the whole time. Got a hole in one, brought it back to 1 shot till like the last 2 holes, and we eventually did lose by 1 shot. And that was a man called Sammy Tahari, who plays for the Irish international team, and he says to us there and at the end, like, oh yeah, by the way, I do play for Ireland. And I was like, yeah, and I play for West Ham, just because I fully did not believe him at all. And he eventually took up the Instagram and showed us everything on it, and we were like, what? And he goes, give us your contact information there, and we'll get you into the scene. And we were like, the scene of one. He's like, competitive foot golf. And we were like, nah, there's no competitive foot golf. And he was like, there is. So I gave him the phone number, and lo and behold, started playing flat out.
It's mad, because you were saying like Sammy would have asked you to play, and you were like, oh, we're going to smash him now. Yeah. We're so used to playing football. But talk to me a bit about that, right? So I know you've grown up playing football kind of your whole life, and I know we were chatting to a few people before this interview, and they were kind of asking, look, even if I'm playing a high standard or a low standard of football, is it possible to kind of transfer the skills, I suppose? Does it kind of just, all I'm doing, instead of going aiming for the goal, I'm aiming for the hole in the ground? Like, for people starting off, if you've played football already, is it a benefit, or are you really starting a new sport?
It would be a bit of a benefit, but as some of the people on the tour would say, like, I know there's 4 women that play that are unbelievable, and as far as I'm aware, 2 of them have never played any sports in their life. Where for me, I feel like I grew up watching Cristiano Ronaldo take them knuckleball free kicks, and I think as many of the young Irish lads out here, you'd nearly start off by trying to do the knuckleball. So I try to bring that into my game when I play foot golf, because I used to take free kicks like that when I was younger, and I used to take corners and crosses as well. So I'd have a bit of a decent whip where you can just curl it in from out to in. So yeah, I think you don't really need any football previously if you're willing to practice and just try and get better. But if you do have some, I do think it is beneficial for you.
Like, I'm just looking out at the course here now, and I'm wearing runners at the minute. It probably should be. You've got the Astros on, you're all set. But like, I know you're kind of new to it in general, but in terms of people getting involved with equipment and stuff, now you had a good story for me about the football you're using. This isn't a job of going into Sports Direct now and getting some €9 football that's going to fly around the place. No. Like, there is a bit of a cost, but also a level of quality that has to be got as well.
Yeah, so my football cost me about €300. It's a Jabalani. It was famous for the 2010 World Cup in South Africa, where
Diego Forlan
Diego Forlan absolutely mastered it, and every goalkeeper was given out because of just the movement on it. I use that now. I don't think having a 9-year-old football is bad, don't get me wrong, but the Jabalani does certainly help it. You don't feel it on your legs as much because it's just a bit lighter, and where them other footballs are a bit heavier, so you get you'd get a bit more rounds out of the javelin in your legs anyway.
And in terms of the Astros then as well, is that a necessity when you're out here in the course? Because I think I was looking at it myself and I was like, the grass is a bit too immaculate here now. There's definitely nobody going around here with studs. Like.
Yeah, no, so you have to wear Astros. It's one of the rules of the foot golf. It's just so when you're going around on a golf course or in the social courses around Ireland, you're not digging up the ground, but you're also not digging up around the cup. So that'd be like where the hole is. If you like stand on it to take your ball out, you're gonna like scrunch it up, so then the people behind you are gonna have a tougher putt. You have to wear obviously the socks, not football socks, just like they're football socks, but you're not allowed to have any logos or anything. And the same with tops, you're not allowed to have any like Manchester United, Barcelona tops.
And if it's like Nike or Adidas, is that fun?
Yeah, that's 100%. Yeah, and you have to wear a polo as well.
So you can't have a club basically, like a football club or anything.
No, so not even League of Ireland like Sligo Rovers, Dundalk or anything.
Very interesting, very interesting. Well, I suppose we've talked about the equipment, I suppose, how to get involved in it as well. You're saying like it's literally just anyone can start.
Pair of Astros, just like they won't give out to you if you come down to a competition and you're in tracksuit bottoms and all. Just if you come down, it's just the main thing to kind of get you into it the first year, so they'll be a bit lenient. But then the next year after you've been playing for a year, they'll expect you to be following the rules, say.
You touched on the competitions there, even at the start as well, mentioning Sammy with the Ireland team. We'll chat about that, I suppose, in a second. We've got a lot to talk about with that as well. But I know, just to kind of keep it flowing with people getting involved in the sport, a bit about kind of kicking the ball. We mentioned transferring football skills, but I even seen some clips of you, like the way you're kneeling down and taking your putting shots. Now, we are at the first tee here, at the first hole, and I suppose I wanted to get a bit of a walk me through the mindset and the technique hitting your first shot on the course.
So the first shot in Highfield, it's kind of it's a bit open, but you have plenty of trees around you. So my first shot, I'm just aiming down, try to get a centre of the fairway as much as I can and as far down as I can. Then the second shot, I'll be trying to open up my body to curl it all the way out to come back in, because there's a big patch of rough in front of the hole. And then the putting technique is, everybody has their own putting technique. I know some people bog toe it, some people side foot it. I side foot it personally, as it just gives me anxiety when I see people toe poking it. I just from playing football, I've never toe poked it in my life. So, but that just suits them and their style of play. Whereas I know from when I started playing, I could not, and I mean like I can't even say this enough, I could not putt for my life. So one of the guys now, like foot golf is an extremely welcoming sport. One of the guys that I started talking to in my first competition, in footy, which I believe is actually the first course in Ireland, he says to me, "Oh sure, we'll go out one of the days to wherever you're local, and we'll start practicing." So he brought me out, and like I'd start putting, and he would be in stitches laughing. Now this lad's called Aaron Connolly. He's possibly one of the nicest men ever, and he's really actually got me to where I am today. So he would be like, right, do this, do that, keep your head down, look at the ball, don't look up. Basically like putting in golf as well, where like you'll see them like keep their head down and then they'll putt and they'll keep their head down and then they'll look. So I kind of just started doing that, and then again, as I said, just practice, and lo and behold, I became the rookie champion last year.
It's kind of like all sports, I suppose. Everyone comes into it as a beginner, probably really raw. People might do one session out in the foot golf course and think, oh no, this isn't for me. But as you say, practice kind of means everything. But I suppose we'll go back to that now about taking your first shot, and kind of, I want to see kind of walk me through it now when you're stepping up to take this shot. What's going through your head when you're aiming? Because obviously we were saying there as well about the boards that are up around each hole. You can see what par it is. So people, obviously, it's kind of the exact same rules as golf. Just with your football and your legs obviously without the club. So the first hole there is a par 5, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And the sign will tell you that. And there is normal tee-offs, and then there's the pro tee-offs as well. So there's beginners and for pros. We're at the beginner one here at the minute, just for the sake of it. Now Sean's well past that level. But I want to take in you taking your first shot now. So if you don't mind, step up, kind of gear yourself up, get ready for it. And I suppose I'll do a bit of a commentating session here. I'll enter my inner Martin Tyler. So he's stepping up here. He's probably a good 5 maybe 6 steps back. Full eyes on the pitch ahead of him. Great connection there as well. Oh, you definitely took corners when you were playing football, didn't you?
Yeah, took corners, free kicks, the whole shebang. So
You could tell by the technique. You got plenty of distance, plenty of power on that as well. But I suppose it's all about accuracy, though.
yeah, you just don't want to be in the rough, really. Like you can kind of deal with being on the fairway anywhere, but if you're in the rough, then your second shot's just gonna be a lot tougher, because if you have like something in front of your foot, and you could hurt yourself. So it's mainly just stay in the fairway as much as possible.
It's true, because I think I took a few practice shots here earlier on, and I was just like aiming for the flag. But like most people probably starting off would be like that as well. But it's actually more about being kind of practical and technical with where you're kicking it. You're not just aiming straight for the flag.
No,
there's little pathways you can take.
One of the senior players, John Cleary, who is absolutely foot golf mad, I was out practicing for a competition one day, and he was there with another lad, and he goes to me, Sean, you've got some boot on you. I was like, yeah, but I just can't seem to get it in the hole, John. And he goes, well, you have to think about it like this. And now I think this is probably some of the best advice I've gotten. And I think that if you are starting off foot golf, it'll be the one thing to learn. You're aiming for the ball to stop at the flag. You're not going to have somebody to stop it for you. Whereas in football, I'd always just be like pinging it, no matter how hard, just once the other player can control it. So I think that's kind of the best advice you can get, is you're aiming for the ball to stop. So it's all about like how much power you put on your second shots and on your putts.
So I think that was going to be my next question then. Any advice for anyone starting off? So that'd be then.
That'd be my main bit of advice, yeah.
Good stuff. Now, we were saying at the start about the competitive scene. Now, you're only recently new to the game, and I think probably the title for this, especially, I think I was going to go with amateur to international, because it's been a serious journey.
Yeah.
And even a chance of wearing a green jersey this year as well.
Yeah, I'm buzzing for that now, to be honest. I've only ever been abroad once. That was to Portugal. I think I was telling you there before we started recording. So I was in Portugal, and
tell me, so you did a tournament in Portugal.
Yeah.
But tell me about the process of even getting involved in that.
So again, Sammy, everybody needs a friend like Sammy. Sammy is absolutely top tier. He goes to me, just texts me out of the blue one day and goes, look, do you want to go play a competition in Portugal? Because we hadn't started our competitions in Ireland yet.
How long were you playing foot golf at this stage?
I was playing about 11 months, 10 months, or just about a year. And he goes to me, will we head over? And I was like, sure, why not? He goes, it's only about 100 quid for the flights over, the hotels, because we had to stay in 2 separate hotels, and then renting a car and coming back. So we were like you won't even get a hotel in Ireland for that. So we went over, and we had to bring our own footballs, obviously, because nobody's going to have just a spare Javelani over there, where it's 350, 400 euro, depends on the quality. So we went over anyway, and I was told, like, you can leave the needle in the ball to let the air out to adjust to the cabin pressure in the plane, or you can just let it all out. It should be fine. So I let all mine out, landed next morning, tried pump up my football, and unfortunately it was leaking from the panel. So the bladder in the ball that holds the air was leaking, so I had to send it over to a man in Italy to get it fixed for me.
So as we were saying earlier on, people might throw a tenner at a football, but there's a cost involved in repairing these things.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's a lot cheaper than buying a new one. So it is €90 now. I do understand €90 is a lot for some people. It is a lot for me as well, to be honest. But it's a lot less than a new football.
And they are a special football.
They're unbelievable, to be honest. Unbelievable. I love them.
So tell me about this tournament then. So obviously people will be like, Jesus, language barrier. You're in a different country. The heat as well. Is it tough?
To be honest, it was kind of like Ireland. Unfortunately, we were hoping for the heat, but we got rain, wind, and like kind of thunderstorm. So Sammy luckily brought over 2 footballs, so I did have a spare one to use.
Everyone needs a friend like
Everybody, I'm telling you, Sammy is top tier. So he gave me the football, and he risked not having then a spare ball for himself. So you can only respect it, to be honest. And I think I came top 10, I believe. But the language barriers you're saying, Oisín, most of them do speak English. They're all very, like, the Portuguese are all very welcoming, and like you go over and like everybody's just hugging you straight away. So it was very nice. It was nice to have Sammy again over there, who knew a few people before I had went over. So I had an elderly woman. Now by elderly I mean like she was in the senior category. So her name was Sandra Gonzalez. She was unbelievable. She tied first, I believe. And then I was with another lad called Diogo. who was 21, so he's just a year younger than me. But I called him Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. because he looked at the split image of him, and he was loving me calling him that, because obviously Ronaldo is their idol over there. So look, the language barrier wasn't bad. They did speak a lot in Portuguese, where I was just kind of just nodding my head, just agreeing with them, even though I didn't know what they were saying.
Just smile and wave, boys.
Just smile and wave, yeah. So they were understanding though. Like, they were like, oh look, we have a bit of English, you don't have any Portuguese. So again, like, it's not that big of a deal. It's just, you might just be like not talking for like 20 minutes.
So that's your first experience with, I suppose, with international
Yeah.
sport, but foot golf in general.
Yeah.
Now, since then, you've made the Ireland team, which is
Yeah.
big news for anyone, especially lads who played football as a
Yeah.
kid, to make the Ireland team. And you've also got a big tournament coming up. So I suppose, talk to me about getting into the Ireland team. And then obviously we've got the Four Nations coming up as well in May.
Yeah, so in Ireland it's on a points-based system. So if you come first, you get 100 points. You get second, I think it's 92 points, and then third is like 80 something points. So it goes down in intervals. And I think my first competition again in footy, the first ever course in Ireland, I think I shot like +7. And then, like, luckily you have everyone's like, oh look, it's not actually that bad for a beginner. So then I would just go out, practice a bit more, and then the next competition I think was Kilkenny, and I got top 10 amateurs there. So I just kind of slowly just kept practicing and kind of building my way up the leaderboard to get them points.
So it is tallying your competitions in Ireland.
Yeah.
And then when you get enough points, you get it. You have a chance of getting into the squad.
Yeah, so I think it's the first. So in the overall category, so pros and amateurs, I think it's the first 20 people, and I think it was 17th then or something, or 15th, and I made it in just by the skin of my teeth. And to be honest, it's a bit of luck, because I think it was Navan was the second last competition, and I came second. I actually lost to Sammy, so I came second overall in that, so I would have got a bit more points. And then I had Kildare, so my home course, Edenderry, Highfield, had that for the last competition of the year. Went there, I think I shot 8 under first round, and I was talking to just a few of the lads, and they were like, look, just go out and win it, and then you'll make the Irish team. And I was like, oh yeah, simple as, I'll be able to beat the likes of like Tiernan McGee, who's absolutely insane, who won the competition at the weekend, Ken Buckley, Liam Buckley, like these absolutely just unbelievable players, Damien Kine, who's like Sammy as well, like. So I went out and I shot 11 under, and I won by a shot, and that cemented my place in the Irish squad.
It was written in the stars,
Oh,
wasn't
I
it?
think so. It was written in Highfield stars anyway, so I'll go down now and I'll sleep on the course for a while.
But I suppose, Sean, just finishing up on that then, you're in the Ireland squad now. It's a big achievement. Now, I know we'll be talking a bit more later on about the Four Nations with the likes of Damien and stuff, but you're heading to that tournament, and that must be a real, I suppose, honour for you, because you're going to be going over there with a green jersey with Scully written on the back,
Scully on the back,
representing Ireland in a big tournament like this. And if people, I suppose, are listening in, the Four Nations, the equivalent to your Six Nations, but it's just Ireland, England, Scotland and Wales, isn't it?
That's the one.
But you're heading over there to England in May, isn't it?
Yeah, so we're heading over to Ashbury Manor, and now I believe it's one of the biggest golf courses in Europe, and that's just what I've been told now. So I'm looking forward to it. We get buggies, which is I think it's going to be a huge help. So
You'll be rallying around the golf.
well, I'll try to be as respectful as possible, but sometimes the inner child will break out, and
Tokyo
I might have
drift.
to, yeah, I'll be flying around like Vin Diesel there. But yeah, no, I'm excited now. I must say it's going to be a change of scenery anyway, and it's going to be very good, I think.
Fantastic stuff, Sean. So amateur to international. Congratulations on the
Thanks
call
so
up
much.
anyway, and listen, the best of luck in the tournament. So thanks so much for joining
Thank
us
you
today,
very much,
Sean.
Oisín.
Great to
Thank
have you on the podcast.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Roar the Score. If you enjoyed, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications.